All right. Can you hear me okay? Hold card 43.
Oh my God.
Get out. Seriously? Again? You guys.
Gosh.
Wow.
Three.
That's awesome.
Oh, I
I
love
love that. Wow.
Oh, guys.
Wow.
Wow.
Confirmation.
Like, wow. Wow, wow, wow. We're 2 for 2.
I know.
Beautiful.
Oh, I love it.
That's insane. Oh, it's insane. All right.
Good one.
Viracocha. Even just saying that word gives me chills. Honor the light. You are a light bearer. Your sole purpose is to redress the presence of darkness on this planet through shining the light. You are meant to do this in the ways that feel most uplifting to you. What brings brightness to your spirit? Do these things. How can you create a loving legacy to remind others of the light? Exploring and expressing the light in ways that remind others to seek the light too is a way to fulfill your divine destiny. Your light is powerful. Use it. People around you, perhaps even you, can sometimes get caught up in the troubles of the world and forget to focus on the light and their own creative power. Gently, but persistently, remind yourself and others to ask for divine help. This can be done according to each individual's belief system. Prayers will be answered. Focus on the light at specific moments during each day. Place sacred objects in your line of vision so you can see them and remember the light often. You are a light worker, light bearer, one who is divinely designed to receive and transmit light for the benefit of humankind and Mother Earth. You have more influence in situations to bring about divine conclusions than you may realize. Don't be afraid to use your light in all ways possible. The great creator deity in the pre-Inca tradition from the Andes region is Viracocha, who is said to have risen from Lake Titicaca during the time of darkness to bring forth light. He made the sun, moon, and the stars. In his wisdom teaching, this reminds us of the importance of creating numerous ways to experience and remember the light and to reflect it back to ourselves in the world. Creating things in our minds and our world to reflect the divine light is vital. These could be simple altars, sacred spaces, beautiful sacred objects, or if it could be the act of burning incense, playing beautiful music, doing a daily practice of meditation and oracle readings, praying, conscious dance or art. Choose whatever it is that helps you honor the light and reinforces it as an authentic presence within your being. Through regular practice, a radiance will be ignited and its flames fanned within. Our soul becomes a lighthouse to help others find their way. Amplifying the inner light is a way to tap into your creative consciousness. Then, what you generate in this world through your thoughts and actions is what you actually want to share. That which increases hope, goodwill, happiness, and peace in this world. It is said that Viracocha made humans by breathing into stones, but his first creation efforts were not pleasing to him, so he destroyed them with a flood and began anew for a better result. The symbolism of this speaks of allowing our creative ideas to evolve. We do not need to be scared to let things fall away, to wash clean and start afresh with our creative intentions. We can do this daily through prayer and other ways to honor and strengthen the inner light of spirit. For someone like you, with a strong mind and the ability to broadcast thoughts and feelings more clearly than many around you, with a position and purpose of spiritual influence at a soul level, it is essential that you bring your mind and way of being back to the light many times each day. If you get into a dark mood, it doesn't only affect you, it may well bring down many others. Even if you are alone, hiding from the world under a bundle of blankets, your darkness doesn't go unnoticed, unfelt. The more you grow spiritually, the more your own states of being will have an impact in this world. This doesn't mean that you need to fear your own darkness. Rather, when it arises within you, your job is to recognize it and work through it without delay. You minimize the amount of time and grip that you give it in your own soul, and you practice authentically bringing yourself back to the light. There is no magic in this, it is an ability born of practice. The discipline to practice also comes from a desire to be in the light. You can choose to be in the light for whatever reason. It could be simply that it feels good, or that it connects you to Great Spirit and that you like that feeling. It may be that being happier makes you more attractive and magnetic to what you want to experience, or you want to brighten up someone's day and not darken their mood with your own. You may want to show gratitude to the divine, not discontent, and so forth. The point is that you figure out your best motivations to be in the light, and you practice putting yourself there again and again. So we'll say this prayer and you guys can repeat after me. I ask for divine blessing. Repeat after me. I ask for divine blessing
I ask for divine blessing
Blessing
that my creations may be expressions
that my
my
creation
creations may be expression
of true spiritual light,
of
of
true
true
spiritual light,
spiritual light,
bringing assistance to this world.
bringing assistance to this world.
world.
I give thanks for the gift of my creativity
I give thanks for the gift of my creativity
and of my ability to feel and know the light.
and my ability to feel and know the light.
May this light dwell fully alive within me,
May
May-
this light
Dwell fully in me,
dwell solely in
my creativity,
my
my
creativity,
creativity,
so that I am a source
so that I am a source
of loving radiance for those in need in this world.
of loving radiance for those in need in this world.
May joy always be at home in my heart
May joy always be at home in my heart.
through my own free will. So be it.
For my own free will, so be it.
And so it is. Aho.
And
oh.
so it is. Love it.
You know what's even better is I just recorded the episode for next week and it's all about this. It's perfect. Yeah. Thank you guys. I mean, you guys are such a reflection for the energy, and it's like so crazy because it's so hard to put into words, but it feels like home for me, and there is nothing better.
What deck are you using? What deck are you guys using?
It's the
That is Earth Warrior.
Oh, okay. You may have posted it.
on Fairchild. It just has been my all-time favorite. The messages and everything about it is just, I don't know. I have many, I have many, but this is the one that always just speaks to me. I don't know.
Earth Child. Look at that. Mhm. That is so cool.
And it confirms, because we keep pulling the same card, that we are on the same page, you know, like if ever you choose another deck, you let me know so that I
Totally.
Oh, so we don't really have topics today, but I put down a few notes So I was thinking that it's just going to be a free chit chat. I do want to talk about Anne's going to do a pendulum.
Nice. Okay.
Anne, do you want to come off mute?
Well, I've been talking to Mina, and it seems like she has a lot more information about it.
Oh, does she?
Yes. So I'm kind of wondering if I'm kind of like, I wish she was back on again. If she should take the lead and I should help her, because she said she has all kinds of papers and mats and stuff like that. I have a book that I was gonna print out or make copies or pictures of and then email it to everybody so that they could print out different, layouts. But I don't know what she's got. So we've got to kind of go back and forth. I got to see what she's got. Excuse me.
Together. I know that there are at least people that are looking forward to it, as they have never experienced using a pendulum before. So that's where I reached out to Anne to ask her if she was open to sharing. And we all have like strengths, and I would think that's awesome if you guys do it together. Just when and for those that can't make it, we can record it as well, so we can share it with everyone.
Yeah, I'll see if I can talk to her a little bit more. We've been texting, but it's been really sporadic, so I've got to get with her a little bit better on it. I wish I could just get a phone call into her. That'd be a lot faster and easier.
Yeah.
But she said something about it. It's her son's birthday party or something. And I don't know when that is. And with the holiday weekend, I really don't want to pester people too much either. So I don't know what's going on for some people.
You guys may notice that whenever anything comes up that I feel like you've got it, like I'm trying to get us all embodied and speaking, right? I don't know if you've noticed that, but we all have stuff to share, and I want this to be everyone's energy. Like Meaghan obviously has stepped forward a lot, and I love that. And I don't even know what I'm gonna do when you're in Peru if you don't have service, but like you guys know, I was not a speaker at all, but it's only through speaking and getting the energy out that it becomes more familiar. And I think that this group is definitely for that. And so, Anne, that's kind of why I put you on the spot to,
Nice.
but it's needed, and that's why I did it. And like as things come up, I'm gonna keep sharing the space because I think that it's needed. Okay. And it's scary, and just know we all are in it together. I get nervous even just having these calls, so it doesn't necessarily go away for some. It's just getting going into the fear of it.
Yeah. I love this group because it's a good way to practice. To be in front of Zoom, in front of people we don't really know, but we're all connected and we all feel the same things. I feel like there's sometimes no need to even reply because everyone's feeling the same thing. It's so nice to see that we're all in sync.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're going to say anything that anybody's going to judge, so I feel like that's really comforting to know. And I love Meaghan's energy because like you have so much confidence, and it's a good thing in a way. Like it's an example to like just to be. So I love that about you, Meaghan. That's great.
Thank you.
No, I love it. Yeah, I'm
All
usually
right.
like never talking, so this is good for me.
Good.
I will follow up on our homework from last week. For those of us who are on here, because I'm going to start holding us all accountable for our homework. So our homework from last week was to do something that you find joy, some humor, some way that you had fun. So if everyone feels comfortable sharing, I will start. So that has been easy for me this week because we are now here on this farm with our friends who have 4 kids, all under the age of 10, and they love jokes and riddles. And so it's been like our daily ritual. They come to me and they're like, time for riddles, time for jokes. And so we, I'll just pull up on Google and we'll tell jokes and riddles. So that has definitely been, I've shared a couple of the really cheesy ones with you guys, but that is what I have done this week. Of many things that has sparked joy and humor. So that's me.
That's amazing. I don't have children in my life, but I would say this is something that I really struggle with in my conscious life. So I don't think I can, nothing's like standing out on to me that I did specifically this last week. I did have a dinner with some friends that I met in Costa Rica, which was great and full of love and laughing, which was really nice. And I don't normally meet up face to face with a lot of people, so I know I needed that. And I know it's like, for me, getting out of my kind of aloneness and allowing it in when it does show up. So that was really a beautiful evening. How about you, Anne?
Yeah.
I get a lot of simple joys that, a lot of times Frank takes over cooking, so I got to do some grilling last weekend for him. So that was a lot of fun, just doing basic grilling. Because I just love cooking. I don't get to do it as much anymore. One of the joys was we went over to see my son. He's an associate pastor at a church, and they had Vacation Bible School. And it was so funny because they made this train, like the caboose, I mean the engine and all this stuff, and just how remarkable the setup was, and just and it was so simple because it was out of cardboard and just and like Lowe's, those plastic buckets and stuff like that, and just the junk that they used to make it with, and paper, and a lot of foam, and but if you stood back, you'd think it was just like, oh man, it's all wood and it's all this heavy duty stuff, and it was just amazing, and just seeing the joy with what he did. And then on Sunday I watched a service, and it was so cute because the kids came back to church, and 90% of the times they never come back. They never do. They never come back to church. This time they came back, and it was so cool, and I was so happy for him because the kids said, we wish we had this every week, and we met great people, and we want to be here all the time. And it just brought me joy just seeing something so positive happen for him, and just the smile, just to hear kids laughing, because I haven't, we don't get to see our grandkids, so it's just nice to hear kids laughing, because I don't ever hear any kids. There's no kids around us in the neighborhood, so it's just nice just to hear some kids laughing. Meaghan, I can imagine you making kids laugh with your goofy jokes. It's got to be fun, and then being on a farm on top of it, it's got to be hilarious.
Oh,
It's just got to be great.
Kat's joining us now.
Yay.
Hi.
Oh, she's connected. Hi, Kat.
Morning. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Kat.
Hey.
Hi, Anne.
So beautiful.
Meaghan's holding us accountable for our assignment of last week, which was, how did you find joy? And with
Through cow jokes.
Oh yeah, yeah. And your Care Bears.
Yes. And the Care Bears. I've got one for you guys. Another joke, another cow joke.
Yay.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow.
Moo, moo.
Nina's coming in, you guys.
Are you guys doing the hape?
We already did.
Okay, great.
And then
Mine's still coming from the States. I got it in the end. And I got some ayahuasca drops, and I got some it's not sangria, sangana.
oh, nice.
Sangria.
Yeah, that would hurt in your eyes.
Well, it might not hurt as much as the Sananga.
Nice.
How about you, Susan?
Oh, let's see. So I've done a few things. I just kind of had like a low-key week. I felt like I was so tired. So I never go swimming. I have a pool that like honestly I never use. So I decided to go swimming, and I just felt like, why don't I do this all the time? I don't know why I never use my pool. But yeah, I have an 11-year-old daughter, so we swam, and she's like, "You never go in. I can't believe you're going in." And so now I'm gonna make it a rule to keep going into the pool. And I listened to the Soul Tribe podcast, the 100th episode, and they recommended this show called the IT Crowd, which I was like, oh, I usually don't like that kind of stuff, but it was hilarious if anybody's into that kind of British humor. But that was like super silly, super.
It's called the IT Crowd.
It's called the IT Crowd, and it's on Netflix. And
Netflix.
it's a bit like sarcasm. It's British humor, so it's not for everybody, but it is hilarious. It's really funny. So that was good. That was a good moment of just like being silly and being fun. But I've been trying to do that a lot more. I feel like that's really where the light comes in for me. Just being super kid-like. I have an 11-year-old, so I'm hanging out with the kids a lot, and I have a 14-year-old, and his friends are coming over, and yeah, I feel like a kid. So it's good. It's good. I love just being like a kid, and I think because I kind of look like a kid, so I think everyone thinks I'm part of the whole crowd. So it's good. I love just hanging out with the kids. Just brings it all out.
And
So
then
that's been
that's
my-
like Amina, she's full of balloons over there, so I think she's finding her joy.
Yeah.
You should have seen me try and get these things in the car. It was a little ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about our assignment for the week and how we found joy this week.
Does anyone else want to go?
I think we all went but you.
Oh, sorry. So sorry
Yeah.
about that. I got disconnected earlier. This week, I didn't know that there was an assignment, but I kind of caught on when I was reading the chat. And I found joy this week by, I had sent you a message, Gabrielle, about just feeling weird and off, and you spoke to it in the podcast episode that came out today. But after we met last Friday, I found joy by finding more presence, and what I did was I took all my divination stuff and I kept it in my she shed, so that when I'm in the house with my kids and my husband, I'm not kind of floating out, which is what I would tend to do, either for work or for spiritual stuff. And I also left my work stuff in the she shed, so I kind of had to keep them separate so that when I set the intention of, okay, now I'm going to go into the she shed, it was very focused, versus now I'm in the house, it was present. So I found a lot of joy that way, and so did my kids. So it was nice.
I can see that. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And Mina, I just wanted to say thank you so much for allowing me to read your poem this week. It was like the perfect, it couldn't have been more perfect.
Thank you for doing it justice and reading it so beautifully. And yeah, something that I feel is for everybody. It's not mine to keep, but something to be shared with the collective. So I'm happy it found a beautiful path to express itself. So thank you.
Exactly. And I was saying, I think before you and Kat came on, I was saying you guys are going to find that I'm going to find moments to celebrate you and the work that you do. And, you know, it could be that I ask you to do a class. It could be like in Mina's case, I read her poem, because I know we're all here to express, and we're all here to get over our fears of being, you know, scared. So whenever I do, I know it's going to feel like a challenge, because, you know, it feels like a challenge for me every week, but it's only through the practice of doing it that's going to make it easier. And I think that we all are here to grow together. It's not anyone's platform. We all are bringing the light together. And Kat and Mina, you missed, we pulled, Meaghan and I pulled the same card again this week. So,
I caught that. I couldn't believe it. I almost started crying.
yeah. So I'm sure Meaghan will share it, but in the notes, but it's just like, for me, as in everything, is confirmation when we get the synchronicities, which they happen for me mostly every day. We're on track. This is just like allowing your heart to open and expand into the experience, even though it's terrifying, because you guys know, I think we all are having our moments of that, and it's a lot, and we're gonna just go through it, you know, because it's new. The other thing I wanted to just briefly talk about, which Sherry's not able to call in today, but she's organizing a Mount Shasta trip. And, you know, it's funny because she mentioned it to me, like when, I think it was the same email that she said, when are you going to start the chat or the group energy? Like, she's the one that called me out for it. And I think she was like, and I feel like we need to go to Mount Shasta. And I told her last week, I think you're the fire starter of the group. And then I reread her human design incarnation cross, and that's exactly what she's here to do. She's here to like light the fires and get us, you know, which I need. Like, I need all of your energies for sure. And again, that's why I was like, run with it, go. So any like support and replying to her is always appreciated. I think right now we're looking at like the first or second week of September, because that cabin is available that weekend. And I wanted to ask you guys, I think a weekend, like just 2 nights, is not enough, because especially people that would be flying and traveling there. When I went last year, we went for, I think, 4 days, and maybe it was 3 nights or 4 nights, I don't know, because it's such the energy there is not like Sedona where it feels intense. It's more of like a chill, like you feel like you're grounded and at home. And so you kind of want to, like, I remember we rode bikes and just like played like kids. We went swimming in the lake, and I feel like 2 days would be rushed to do that all. So if you guys are open and feel good about that, you know, just let Sherry know, because she has like a spreadsheet going and she's organizing. Because she is our fire starter. I know, Kat, I know you're so far away. I'm sorry. But maybe the next trip where we can all meet and would be Peru, and I would love that. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Am I talking? Is that working? Yeah. I'd love to do a Peru trip at some stage, but our passports are obviously on hold at the moment. So
yeah, it wouldn't be this year, I'm sure. But like I see us together until our deathbed. That's what it showed up.
Yeah.
So we have our whole lives. Like, there's no pressure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Really. How about, is there anything else that you guys want to touch on or talk about this week?
I was kind of curious about human design, because I know you did a spreadsheet about everybody, and did you come to any kind of like connection, conclusion, or?
Yeah, so together we carry all of the channels, or all of the gates. So when I went through, I think I have it right here. I went through and compared everybody's. And it's funny because I needed Leslie
Cross-
and Kyla's, and together with no, it was Leslie and Tiffany was the last two from the original 12, and with those two energies we had the full system. And then we added in Kayla, and hers, she's the one manifester that we didn't have that energy, so definitely she brings something to the table. Of manifestors are the ones that can come up with ideas and share them directly, where everybody else is kind of like projectors are waiting for the invitation. Generators and manifesting generators are waiting for something to respond to. So I feel like her energy is here to bring forward new and share them with us, so that we can all, you know, share our own gifts to go kind of in that direction. I think it might be interesting actually to do a call where we just like dive in and look at everybody's, because I know I sent Meaghan and Kat yours because you were side by side and you guys are like mirrors of each other, which was so interesting. But you know, each one of us carries our own gifts, and that's why for me, I am trying to bring them out in you. And I know it may, like I said, I know it may be uncomfortable, and you know, just know it's for everybody is that way. Maybe not Meaghan, but it's hard, but I want you to see it, and I want you to see what we see in you. So yeah, I would just say that I kind of tune back into your incarnation crosses, and I like pick up on moments, and sometimes it's like a download of this one needs to run with this one, you know, and I think the purpose is that we all are here to bring a gift to this collective, right? And then actually, Kat, I know you were saying that you were going to do the Chinese astrology, right? Did you, or have you had a chance?
I actually just, like, off the top of my head, I went through the list that you sent, G, and I just went through and I just sort of went, okay, like Meaghan's on the border of, you know, she's like Libra. I just like guessed everything in my head, and I haven't actually even really written it down yet. I sort of started to, and I think Anne's a Virgo. I just like did it all off the top of my head, so I have to go back and double check, and then I'll send it to you, and I'll send it out to everyone. So, and I went through also and I checked, oh, okay, we've got a couple of other dragons and we've got a couple of other, and it all relates back to human design in my head. I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And yeah, so I guess when I send it to you, G, you'll sort of see it, and the rest of the group will totally see it as well, because we're all just, we're like the honeycomb. We're all connected and we're all just meant to be. So it's awesome. But yeah, I've just got a little bit on. So hopefully in the next, like, you know, week or so. And also I won't actually be able to do everyone's in total because it's a lot. So I'll just do the brief bits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So
with human design, it's so complex when
yeah.
I'm reading, but it's like trying to pull all of these together, but it's so fascinating for sure. I mean, sorry guys. But there isn't any one thing that we all have. There was one that I thought maybe we all had, which was gate 50, but then actually Kat carries the complementary gate. But so there's not one thing one gift that we're all here to bring. It's the uniqueness of everyone. And I think that's what the big picture was for me, is that it takes every one of our energies to pull this circle. And that to me is better than us being the same. You know, I don't think we are supposed to be the same, but we carry the same vibration.
So this is a thought I had after listening to some things is, so I've been hearing things about like certain beings or entities being kind of like an oversoul, you know, and like that the smaller energies compose this bigger being as a single being. And so I don't know, like it was this, that question to explore, like, do the 13 of us in some way, by uniting our energy, are we able to embody or create an over solar and over being of some kind? Because I've heard things about like that this deity or this entity is actually a collective of, and just how like, I mean, like Mother Earth is a collection of all of these things, and like even like the spirit of Chicago or of a city, it has this like beingness of its own. That's so I don't know if that makes sense, and I don't obviously have an answer, but it's just something like, I don't know if all of us, like, I don't know, if all of us were to sit in a circle and hold hands or something, could we channel in something really big? I don't know. I just had that thought.
So for me, this week I was listening to that book by Viracocha that's called The Serpent of Light for Beyond 2012. And it's so interesting. This is that throughout his life, he pulled together group energies that then went on like pilgrimages to activate the light in different sacred spots. And what I feel, because I've had moments where the connection with a group has felt like this is my soul family. And it was a soul connection for that moment. And I know that we will always be connected, but it's not like this. So for me, the way it feels is that this is our, like, we agreed before we incarnated that we would do this work together. And I think that the point is that it's going to evolve. And that's why I'm wanting you each to step into your own power, because it's going to take each one of us to get into that power or flow state, I guess is a better way, because power is, something that is a judgment. But in that flow state, it's going to allow your gifts to come forward too, so that there's match and that we can start moving forward. And I think then the messages will come through to where the energy is needed. I feel right now our energies are needed exactly where they are, because we're carrying this vibration in so many different places. We're not in the same place, but I know that there's a reason for it. And I, like with this guy and Drumvalo, he kind of was the same way. He didn't know either. He would just get down like inklings, and then it would magically come together, kind of like this group came together. And it feels like you've known these souls forever. And there's a reason for that resonance, because you're now on the path to doing the work that you came here to do. But we don't know yet, right? Like, we don't know what's going to happen. I definitely always feel like something is going to happen. And will we be reunited in this life? I hope so. But I think also it's important that in this time we are exactly where we are. I don't think we're meant to be together all the time either. I think we can have this connection energetically. And I agree. I know we agreed to be here. All of the synchronicities that have happened since this group came together, there is no way else to explain it. And like I said, when I was scared and wanting to retreat, I was shown that we almost like, and it's going to sound weird because I'm not married, but it feels like a marriage. It feels like a soul marriage that we agreed to. I hope that doesn't scare anyone, but that's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally agree with both of you guys. I've got two different ways of seeing it as well. I've kind of got this idea that we are exactly where we're supposed to be as well, G, I agree. And I sort of see in the future the connection being sort of like so strong that we go off into, because we are in all sort of different areas, that we go off into our own little area and we create little pockets of more love, should we call it, like another little 12 and another little 12 seeds and another, like, I'll go off to Australia and create another 12 and you guys go off there. And that's how I was kind of seeing it. But at the moment, the energy is just like this soccer ball, shall we say, of honeycombs where everyone is still just exactly where they need to be. if that makes any sense. I kind of get these weird pictures in my head and then try to describe them. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yes, that is exactly true. And I think this group is I don't know, it feels like maybe it is the honeycomb, the thing that's nurturing the soul to make it become alive and awaken back into who you remember yourself to be and why you're here. And it feels like to me there's nothing more nurturing than have felt with you guys. So if I'm feeling that, I know you guys are as well. And it's like just honoring the sacredness of us being able to be brought together. That to me is like a miracle. I don't know how, and you could never plan it, I don't think that energy. Well, I want to say this. There are a lot of people, not a lot, but there are like maybe 20 people watching the recordings. And I know that there are more people. And I like tuned into that as well. And what I feel is that there are people maybe that are newer or also being hidden by their ego that are afraid to embrace this. And that's perfectly fine. And that's why I feel like recording these is important, because that energy, it's almost like it radiates out regardless of if they're in the conversation. They are a part of us. And I think that that's, you're right, Kat, in that we're just supposed to grow that. We're supposed to be this, not be this welcoming energy for everyone that resonates. And as they feel aligned and ready to like push past the being afraid, it will come. And I think that's what we're here for, just to be that welcoming space. And what do you think? Being on mute over there.
There's just times where I still keep wondering, how do I fit? You know me, I'm going to keep questioning this forever. I see Kat's thing of, will we eventually break off? And then when she was talking about it, a dandelion came to my mind, like when you blow a dandelion and it just blows all over the place. That's what came to my mind. And I don't know. I see we're growing. I see there's all these different directions. I don't know where it all goes, but there's all kinds of ideas. There's all kinds of topics. It's all fascinating.
I think that's the magic of spirit.
I
I'm not supposed to know. I mean, that's how every week I don't know.
Yeah.
So here's an idea, and weigh in on this if you feel equipped. Okay, so something that I've like been thinking a lot is, okay, if you form a tribe, or a conscious community of any kind of like how we've talked about with the energies, like every part is integral. Like what, because we can't do it all. Like I can't know everything about astrology. I can't know everything about, herbal medicines or plant, so it's like we kind of have to divide and conquer. And one thing that that's kind of been on my mind is like, do we have someone in this group who could, and you come to mind, and I don't know if you feel like your skill set aligns with this, but almost like our spiritual, like our soul doctor, as in like, if we feel like, all right, I'll use myself as an example, like, because I'm not able as of right now to like see inside of myself, like blocks, or I have a very hard time connecting like to what's going on in my body, because I've shut it down my whole life. And so I've been like, is there someone in our group who can shamanically journey and see those things to help us in times of spiritual crisis, you know, or something like, you know, like, I mean, I was just coming home from Florida. I stopped at our friends Bonnie and James's house, and Bonnie has done Reiki. She hasn't been practicing recently, so she said, like, I'm not promising anything, but she scanned me and worked on me, and she said, like, you know, there's something, you know, going on in one of my hips, for example, and she was like, and your stomach's pissed at you. And then she got to my throat and she was like, there's something you're not saying that, you know, that you need to get out. And she's like, and obviously she doesn't know what any of that is, but she can sense those things. And so then I'm left being like, what is it I'm not saying, you know, or what is it I'm carrying? And I don't know, this is totally random, but I'm just feeling like I know that there have been many times where I could use a shamanic doctor in a sense, because I don't have that skill in myself right now. Like even Bonnie's like in her 50s, so is her husband, and she was telling me about in meditation, she just taught James how to do it, how like focusing down your nose tip and then flipping your eyes backwards, like she can travel down into her body and she can actually see like the grid. And so I remember doing a meditation with Isis where the whole thing was like, find this golden grid and find where the spots are that need to be repaired. And it's like, that didn't work. Like I couldn't see anything. It was just like, you know, I'm following along in my mind, but I'm not actually, okay, I'm word vomiting now. Does any of this make sense? Or what
It does.
you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yes, I could help with that. Okay, I can help with that. And if we need to get a session together, then we need to get a session together.
I just know, Anne, that you have so many gifts. You have so many abilities. Like you have so much to bring. Like I don't even know. I mean, but you have a lot. You have a lot of experience. And there are so many things that, like, I'm telling you, and I'll tell you in front of the whole group, like I would love to just go and live with you for like a week or two and just like have you teach me things. The very fact that I feel like that means that you have something, because there are things that I feel like I want to learn from you.
Me too. I'm coming to Anne's house when I come to America.
I already invited myself there, and she was like, "Oh, let me just get back to you on that." Remember, Anne? I said, "I'll come out."
She did. Yes, she did. Yes, she
See,
did.
we see you.
I know. I don't know. This is a block I've had for a while, but Gabrielle knows this. Gabrielle knows this. So I will get, okay. I surrender. White flags. I don't know. I don't have one.
So Anne, I just want to say too that I've said this a couple times about how I saw you in a dream before I even met you, and it was one of my first dreams where female archetypes were coming to me, and the one where I saw you, where you were, and maybe this is, I'm not trying to put you in a box, but maybe this is how I view you, but you were an elemental, which at the time I didn't know what it was, and it kind of frightened me, but it was like mist, fog, heat, you know. So I think that means something, you know, when we talk about the core energy of source and elements. I think there's a lot more to you on so many levels that, you know, I just wanted to let you know like what exactly I saw in my dream. So I think that's something that's really powerful. And the fact that I saw it before I even met you, I think it's confirmation that you hold a lot of power. So I just wanted to share that.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I told you guys when I first,
I just, oh,
and it was like, she's pure light. That's what it is. She carries pure light. And if you know how to work with energy, you would feel it and see it. And I just knew we are meant to be together.
Well, thank you guys. And I can help.
I also think, Anne, that your intuition is amazing. Like, you seem to just be onto things like all the time, even just when you comment on posts in the group chat. You're like,
That
yeah,
is so
you got,
bizarre because sometimes I post and it's kind of like, oh, I don't think that fit.
no, just let it fly. Like Meaghan said last week, just the first thing that comes to your mind, just say it, because you're always like, well, for me, you seem to be always spot on.
Thank you. Okay.
And goodness, our energy keeps turning this thing on all by itself. What the heck? Okay. And you are guilty, as we all are, but you tell stories. And you tell yourself sad stories that are not true. And so just remember that. You are telling yourself a story that I don't have anything to bring, or what I have to bring doesn't matter. That's a story. That's a lie. Okay? And if you need us to tell you, like, you're telling yourself a lie, you're telling yourself a lie. And we love you. I love you. You have so much. You have so much. I was just listening to Paul Chek, like devouring him right now, but talking yesterday on a podcast about how we do not have elders. We've totally like discarded elders and the wisdom. Honestly, we've discarded our elders, and we've discarded our children as like our teachers. And you so much to me, and I know to all of us, like, carry this, and it's not your age, it's your maturity, and you carry this elder energy that I don't think we have without you. I mean that. Like, I feel very much like that we would just all get around you and honor you as our elder. So
Okay.
love you. Don't tell
Thank you,
yourself
guys.
lies.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so
Okay.
happy you all see her.
All right. The end moment's got to be over now. Let's move on.
Yeah, maybe Anne needs some ayahuasca to see herself.
Right?
Maybe. Are you doing a ceremony, Gabrielle?
I am next weekend. I'm not obviously.
Okay.
I'm going to a shaman that she studied in Peru, and she's very traditional in her ceremonies. Yeah, I after I went to Costa Rica the first time, and then when I came home, I remembered that I had been given when I started this path. I went to Sedona like to celebrate my last my being laid off from my job. So while I was there, I met someone that told me that it was calling me back then. This is like 2 years ago, and I was like, oh, I don't even know what that is. I didn't even know anything about it. But she gave me the information of the shaman, and I forgot. And then when I went to Costa Rica, I came back and I was like, wait a second, I think I know someone locally that does this work. And so, yeah, I now have a shaman locally that I can work with. So I did it, I feel like in May was the last time. And I thought I wasn't being called anymore. I felt like I was complete for a while. And then I think what happened is there are people in my life that were needing it, or it was calling them, and I became the facilitator of that. And so, yeah, we have a ceremony next weekend. which is why we're not going to have the call next weekend or next Friday. Everyone will be coming here, and it will probably be too much energy for me to focus. So, but Anne is always welcome. Any of you guys always welcome to be here. You know, I like the reason I said that, Anne, is just that it helps you to see the real you. It really breaks down the barrier of the ego that's the thing that's holding you back. And you know, I don't know where this is going, and I have never known where this is going, but I'm just plowing forward as like, it's got to come out. There's no, that's the thing with, I feel spirit and energy, it's wants vessels that share, that let it go and don't hold on to it and aren't afraid of it. So have you guys
So what is the ayahuasca again? Is there a
maybe
condensed
Meaghan, would you
version?
like to take that one, our medicine woman?
Maybe
I
Anne could try the drops first, because I'm gonna just try the drops this week. Oh well, when they come from America, maybe next week. The ones that G, you talked about on your one of your podcasts
Yeah, it's on
towards the end when you got back from your
it's on
yeah.
for
Maybe we could do it. We could do it. Sorry, I was just gonna say to Anne, maybe we could do it together, Anne. The drops.
The Sananga?
No, it's called Ambi Sacha, and it's it's through the Four Visions Market. It's a tincture.
Okay, hold it. I ordered something. I don't know if that's what I just ordered.
Oh, maybe.
I gotta look it up. Good question.
Well, you can take it when you wake up or before you go to sleep, and it's a tincture, so it carries it ayahuasca without the DMT, and it's just to start conditioning. It's almost like actually the flower essences. You're just communing with the plant, and it can be in your dreams. It can start to show you things about yourself on a very mild, because there is no effect, like you don't feel anything on those tinctures, but it's like training your vibration to starting to allow that energy to flow.
No, I bought two. Okay, what is
But
it?
ayahuasca is a vine that they combine ayahuasca, and then there's another DMT element that is brought, which is from bush. It's combined, and what happens, and this has been like, from what I understand, thousands of years of tradition in the indigenous cultures, and it usually is in the form of a tea or a drink, and you take like a small amount, like a shot glass amount, and what happens is that what I feel, and this is just going to be me trying to explain it for me, is that your ego is there and it is here and you are conscious the whole time, but it's like taking a break. It's just observing rather than being in control. And then what happens is that your higher soul allows the messages and the lessons that you need to learn most to come forward into your consciousness. And it feels like kind of like a lazy river at times. It's very like flowing. She's very nurturing, and it feels like you're being embraced in the most loving way, but also in the most toughest way, because she's going to show you the things that are holding you back. So a lot of people call it shadow work. And that, at least that's how I thought that it was going into it. Like the things that you suppress about yourself, or the things that you don't want to look at, are the things that will probably come up in ceremony. So people will have a lot of purging can happen, or you don't have to throw up, but it'll be like energetic releases. For me, I haven't really, I have purged once, but I haven't really experienced uncovering things I didn't know about myself, but it brings up things that I need to focus on. So I don't know, Meaghan, would you add anything else to that? I don't know who else has done it. So can Susan, have you?
Go ahead, Meaghan. I have done it, and yeah, it's really what you want. I think you have to make an intention, and it'll find you. It's nothing to be forced in, and if you're not feeling it, because you'll feel it because it's really strong. if it comes to you, because you can't get it out of your mind, and it shows up, like people start talking about it and you're like, what is that? And then like we're talking about it right now, this might be a little bit of a sign, if it resonates with your heart. But a lot of people think it doesn't taste good. It's a drink made out of a vine. I think it's a vine. Part of the, I think it's a vine and the bark, maybe, but it's a part of a plant. It's again plant medicine, and it's a female medicine, and it can take you down different roads depending on where you are in your life and what you want to see and what what the medicine wants to reveal to you. So if you're feeling like you're on the cusp, like Anne, you're on the cusp of like being a healer or showing your healing powers, it might show you an episode in your life of why you're holding yourself back, or it might reveal, just a little nugget to propel you in the direction that your soul wants to go. That's how I see it. But it purges a lot of physical, a lot of emotional things that are stuck physically. So you're either, you can purge, like you'll vomit or you'll go to the bathroom, and it's a release. But I don't know, I feel like it'll call you, like if this is making any sense to you, it'll call you. It's just like Sananga to me, because I've taken now Sananga, it seems very similar in a lot of ways, but it's much harsher in terms of like,
You think ayahuasca is harsher?
yes, it's
Oh,
like
I would say the other one's harsher.
really, it's so funny, we all have these different takes. Yeah, because I'm still haven't gotten Hape yet, but I don't know, it's not calling me yet, but yeah, so I think we all have different takes on it, but
And I
maybe.
feel like you're so right on when when it's time, there's you can't escape it. It feels like a magnet to you.
Yeah, it was for me. Yeah, so that's I'm glad you said that, confirmed that, because for me it was like, I have no idea what this is, and all of a sudden, boom, there's no escaping. Like people are inviting me to ceremonies, and I'm having like inclinations, kind of like, I kind of want to do that kind of feeling.
Like curiosity.
Yeah, curiosity. But there's no pressure. That's why I'm saying that, because there is absolutely no pressure. It's just maybe like right now is the time to hear about it and then slowly get involved with it, have a relationship with it. I watched a lot of YouTube videos about people who had their experience beforehand, because a lot of people may not be ready and they have psychosis or they get stuck. And these are things just to be aware of it. But for me, I felt like the intention was only to bring insight and love, and that's what happened. So I really think it's about having the intention of where you want to go with this. Like Meaghan's ceremony with Hape, with what we do with Sananga, I feel like it's all about, it's a being, it's a being, having a relationship with it and having a calling to it. I don't know, Anne, you could.
That's a really big point, is that at least from my experience, what I realize is it's its own consciousness, but at the end of the day, it's you calling yourself to it. You are it. There is nothing outside of you, right?
Yeah.
But it's like a reminder to find that balance back inside of you.
Yeah, that's totally like that to me. And there's a lot of fear around it, I have to say.
You
at least
have fear? You have fear?
Well, before I took it, there was a lot of fear. Like, was I going to come back? I know that I know somebody who didn't come back and went to like the mental ward. Not that you will, Anne. But I feel like it's all about, like disbanding that fear. I felt, to get to a place of like, this is medicine. This is medicine. This is not a trip. This is not getting high. It's not, it's definitely not fun. But no, it's not fun. But at the end, it's really fun, because then you think about all the things that you were shown and everything just makes sense. Then life starts to make sense. Yeah, it really just brings it in. Like I saw the Matrix and I was like, yeah, okay, got it. Like I've been seeing the Matrix, and it just kind of showed me, this is the Matrix. Like, don't doubt yourself, because I've been like, I think it was like doubting like that this really existed, and I'm a little woo woo out there, but no, it's not. It's all normal. Everybody, I feel like everybody feels it. We just need to remember and own it, and forget about the fear. So I don't know, Meaghan, if you want to add more to that.
So everyone's experience is like, I don't feel like it's good to hear other people's experience, but in no way should, in my experience and in my opinion, should you let any of that alter your expectations of what it is. For me, like when I sit, for example, when I sit with someone with rapé, I say, I am handing you a ticket to ride, and I don't know which ride you're getting on. I don't know if you're getting on a Ferris wheel. I don't know if you're getting on the Raging Bull. I have no idea. Like, I am just the one who's handing out the ticket and who is holding space for you to experience whatever it is you're about to experience. Because on some level, like, ayahuasca is just, it's a who knows. It's a, because I think you don't know. For most people, I don't think that they know for sure what their higher soul is up to, what their highest self is wanting to accomplish. Because my first ayahuasca was nothing like I expected. Nothing happened like I thought it was going to. As I learn more, I think I'm starting to have context, which is really interesting. But I wouldn't say it's going to be this, it's going to be this. You have no clue, because it's whatever your highest self, I think, like, has in store for you is what's going to happen, and you have clue. Maybe when you get more, for me, I just was so young, and so, I mean, that was coming right off the cusp of like me basically discarding all of my Christian dogma. Like, so I went into it being like, I don't know what anything is. And so I think that, and not having a super strong meditation practice. So I believe that you might have more control as you become more mature, more familiar with that medicine and with the space that, because going off of what Jordan Balo says too, like all these different densities and octaves, it's like, all right, your consciousness is going somewhere. You're never, I don't think, lost out in some weird place, like, but you don't necessarily know where you're being taken to, which dimension you're going to be in, because like Gabrielle talked to Lori, my amazing dear spiritual sister Lori just had her second ceremony last weekend, and it was incredible, totally different, but things the same. So I don't know, it's just something that it's a chance for you to submit to connecting to your higher self. And I don't know what that means for you. It could be pleasant, it could not be. It just really depends on what you're ready for. Like, I mean, everything that they're saying there is their experience and is true, but that doesn't mean that's how it's going to play out for you. But I can say, from what I think and what I've heard from people, is that, a severely traumatized person, like one of my friends, tons of sexual trauma, just very broken individual. When they sit with ayahuasca, I don't believe that Aya comes and just paddles them, and shows them tough love, because that they're already broken. They're already coming there with just barely holding on to life as it is, so your higher self wants to keep you in the game. And so if you need a pick, I mean,
Oh, you cut out.
I would know, if you need that encouragement, if you in your innermost being need to see what you're capable of, and you need to step into your power, then you will be shown exactly what you need so that you can step into your power. For someone like my friend's husband, who was dealing with a lot of anger and resentment, like, he had a really rough time because I showed him, hey, this is what you're doing, and this is what it looks like in your body when you're angry. And it's traumatic. That was nightmarish for him to witness, because I mean, it involved like a sea of demons and all this stuff, and it was just showing him, this is what you're doing when you're harboring anger inside of you. So a lot of people get very strong visuals and things like that. But I just hope what I would have liked to have been told is just, well, and what I was told by a lot of people is, you truly have to release expectations. I mean, you just go into it, and this beautiful goddess woman, Vanessa, told me this prayer, and I'm not going to remember all of it, but essentially her prayer before any time she sits with Aya is, connect me to my higher self no matter the cost. Like, that is the message. Like, whatever that means, whatever I need to do to connect with my truest self, bring it on. So yeah, hope that helps.
Okay, I got a question then. All right, this might help Kat. All right, I didn't order the one I think you guys are talking about, but I did order the Amazon King Nettle or Tiga tincture, which it goes down to say it opens all the pores all over the body to help release stagnant energies, traumas, painful memories of the body. It acts as a hemostat. Besides balancing the nervous systems, it stimulates the digestive system and helps with the pancreas, gallbladder, stomach to work properly. You'll get the physical benefits while you're literally taking a part of the jungle home with you and having the opportunity of this powerful medicine internally. It is to help all blood issues, circulations, and nourishment of the cells. How do you even take this stuff?
Just exactly like the flower essence. You would put, so I think they say do up to 6 drops underneath your tongue. At least that's what, I don't know if it says it there. So for me, when I was doing it, I would do 6 drops underneath my tongue before I would go to sleep. And it's exactly like the flower essences. It's not going to hit you like, oh my gosh. It's more of a subtle vibrational shift. So
Okay.
it's just literally training your vibration to that plant. And it's not meant to be, I mean, I've never done the nettle one, but the ambisacha is just, why I was taking it was I knew I wasn't complete with ayahuasca from Costa Rica, and I wanted to keep it in my system. But what's weird is that since I did it the second time, my second ceremonies, I haven't been taking the tincture, and I have it, but I just feel like I don't need it right now. So it's like that intuitive, like you'll feel that it's working on like a subtle vibration, but it's not, it's exactly like the essences. It's just an essence that your body's training to. So for me, I would say like people that are interested in like, or feel a call to ayahuasca is if you get that tincture and you just start training with it at night, or some people take it in the day. I don't think it really matters because it doesn't really have a strong effect. It's just training your emotional system to start like recognizing it, right? Like start seeing it as what it is. And then if an actual ceremony is meant for you, it's going to come. Like that's what people always say, like it calls you. There is no and what it feels inside is you will move heaven and earth to get to it. That's how it feels. It's that kind of draw. It feels like such a strong magnet that it's for you. Now, that doesn't mean that fears won't come up, because once you've committed to doing a ceremony, it starts working on you from that moment, right? So you can get like anxieties about it, you can have fear about it, all of these things will come to the surface because it knows you're coming. So, but it's magic, it's pure magic. That's my opinion. And
So
yes,
do I try this?
Entangled
Do I try this
quantum
other stuff and then go?
yeah. Well, clearly that called to you first. So I would say use your intuition, go for what called you.
Okay.
I feel like I have wanted to do it for about maybe 5 or 7 years, the first time I ever heard about it. But I've also known that it's not my time yet. So the drops, when I heard about the drops, it's the first time I'd ever heard it when you said it on your podcast, I was like, oh, that's me. So like when this little parcel arrives in the next couple of weeks, it's going to be like Christmas here. But yeah, I'm excited to try the drops first. Yeah, and then I think when our passports come back and we can go, I always wanted to do it proper in Peru with the shaman or somewhere in South America, like, properly.
Sherry's not here. I'm going to share. She just finished her bottle of that. And there's one on chakra opening site as well. And so she was asking me if I thought she should, commune with that one. And I said, you got to tune into it. You have to know. And she said, well, when I started the first bottle, I felt something, and then I didn't feel anything. And I said, but it's working on such a subtle level. It's not a medicine like you would go commune with in ceremony. It's a tincture. It's just a training of vibration in your being to start accepting it in your life. So that's what
That's the one that I ordered from Chakra Openings as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, and this is what I believe. I think all of these plant medicines are coming to the forefront for us to have help. It's a helping mechanism to see yourself clearly. And yes, Meaghan, you're so correct. There's no two journeys that are the same. It is literally your higher soul bringing you to what you can handle in that moment. And that you can go in with an intention, but it doesn't mean that that's what your higher soul wants to share with you. And that's another thing. You just have to be open. And it's like, in a way, it's a subtle ego letting go or ego death to find who you really are, but for me, I don't know that I'll have it in my life like consistently forever, but right now it seems to be prevalent. And I feel like it's part of me. I feel like I'm excited about it. I don't feel scared anymore. And I feel like every time is a completely different experience. No two situations have been the same. So
I'm just putting it out there, but maybe when we get together, we can get the shaman and do it, and people can participate or not, which I would love, because I went to Aya and 2 people dropped out in that night because they said, I don't think I'm going to do it. But they still got something out of it, like after we talked about it with the shaman and everything. So
well, actually, that happened in my second ceremony last time. Was one of the girls had such an intense experience the first night. The second night she said, maybe I'll just do like a teaspoon, and then she decided, no, I don't want to do that. So the shaman actually has a tincture that has no ayahuasca in it, but it's a blessing. And she felt like she journeyed that second night without it in her system. So yeah.
Same. I think the shaman gave her sweet water, which was
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was just so magical because they had an experience anyway, but the fear, it just wasn't their time. And I felt like that was so nice to see that you don't have to do it. Even if you paid, you came, you did all the steps to get there, you could still back out. It's no big deal. Like whatever you want. Yeah. And I love that.
Well, that would be amazing if we pick a date. I definitely will ask her. I don't, because the other thing with her is that she holds like such a strong container in her space. But I'm sure, I mean, she's obviously done it in other places, so I'm guessing she would be fine with that. But like, she won't even open the windows in her house because it's so contained. And I remember it being so anxious about it. Like, I wish I could just breathe. I just want some fresh air. And they said she can't. She's holding the energy. And I was like, I know, I know. So yeah, yeah, that would be an interesting. I think the problem is that with Mount Shasta, there aren't any close airports. I think it's like 2 hours away to the nearest airport. So like when I went, we drove, which is I think 10 hours from here. But I think we can plan it that I drive at the time that people are landing and pick people up on the way. But yeah, I think that would be amazing, you guys.
In Pedro, I have not done San Pedro yet. I know Gabrielle has, but like,
She does ceremony of Wachuma as well, so that would be amazing to do.
wow.
So maybe that is what this. Maybe this is part of the planning for Sherry, because she's definitely. I think it's calling her for sure. But that other, like, this is why I didn't want to do a group to begin with this next weekend, because it is not my place to say someone is ready, you know, and I didn't want, even my closest friend, I would never have asked her, because I do believe that medicine starts showing up in your life when it's time. So wasn't the one that asked her, it was, you know, the other person, and she's weirdly, she seems like not anxious at all. It's her first time, and she's like, I know it's time. And that's how it feels. You just know. And you're looking at us like, what kind of group am I in? Yeah, I know.
I'm okay. It's I'm just laughing because I'm just you know, I'm just laughing because it's like it's finally clicking. The word, the names are all, it's all clicking finally. It's taken a while, but it's clicking, you know, it's
I mean,
clicking.
that's why I always say I started with flower essences, and it was like the gateway of realigning my vibration to understanding why the plants are here.
Mhm.
That's literally what it, and then then I opened myself up to Hape, and then it just kept going. And I realized that they each show up when you're ready for them.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds cool.
And actually, I wanted Kayla to talk to us about combo, because she said she's a practitioner. And I know, Meaghan, you're going to Peru to study to become a practitioner. So that's one of the ones that actually, maybe that's something we will be doing together.
Oh, we will, because I mean, if we're gonna do any kind of ceremony, which it sounds like we will, combo is a perfect way to like just clear everything out and really bring a clean slate to any ceremony.
First before the others. Okay.
Yeah, that's ideal. That's ideal.
Ladies, I am going to have to run. Somebody just texted and said they are at my door. So I'm like, oh, I have company. So y'all, please excuse me. Thank you very much for all the love and support. And I will get the pendulum stuff together, and I will talk to Mina more about it, and we will get this rolling ASAP. And I love you, and thank you all very, very much for everything. And have a great
Bye,
weekend.
Ann.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Love you.
Love
Bye.
y'all.
Wow. I feel like this is interesting. This is a turn of events, which it's great. You know, that's why when we get together, the energy flows as it's needed to, I think. So I want you guys to know I am still, okay, Penny's coming to say hi. I'm still watching the Flower of Life series on Gaia, and we haven't gotten yet to the Merkaba, but I am dedicated and I'm getting through it. And as soon as I know how we can use the Merkaba in meditation, I promise to definitely share. I don't know. It's just there's 36 episodes, and I think I'm on 15. So it's coming. Is there anything else that we want to talk about today, you guys? We're not, I said again, we're not meeting next week, but obviously after that, we'll go back to the norm. I just want to say thank you guys for taking the time and bringing your energy and knowing that, you know, you're needed.
Gabrielle, what's the date for the next meeting then? It'll be July what?
It would be July 16th. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I look forward to obviously our chats, but you know, I hope that some of the energy that we haven't received here yet will come in when it's ready. And one thing I did want to say, and I guess this goes out to everyone, is if this time isn't the best time, let's talk about it, because I am not committed to this time. We picked it because that's when Sherry was able to get out of work. So I think we should like come to a consensus of if it needs to be later. I think it needs to be later for Kat and earlier. Would it need to be earlier for Leslie? So that I don't know that we'll ever figure out, but please let me know if you have an opinion one way or another. Like Kayla, I think she has a set appointment with her son at this time, and I definitely want to meet her and get her energy too. So, you know, even if it means like we do a couple times, whatever fits with her schedule, I just think we need to play with it. Okay.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we should. Yeah, this time's a little weird for me, but I try to make the time.
What do you think is better, later?
For me, it'd be earlier, because it's Friday night and it gets to be like people are showing up at my house right now, and like, yeah, it's getting a little chaotic with summer, maybe, I don't know. And then by the time September rolls around, there's a different energy. So it feels like it's cyclical with the seasons for me.
Okay. So yeah, I'll put it into the chat, and we can we can start taking a tally of what people can do. But for me, I can do anytime, so I'm open. And
go ahead. No, I was gonna say, I think Kayla wanted to do something with the names, and I could offer if everybody wants to send me something about their name, I could string it together and put it out for everybody. Cool. I know she wants to do that, and I listened to that episode of, I think it was Matthias, about the name. Yeah, so I know that was in the chat. So
then can you throw your email in the, well, I should have it, never mind. I'll get your email. So I'll have everyone to email. What do you need from them?
The first
just full name.
Yeah, I think she said to put all the names, like the meaning of all your names, middle, like first, middle, last, and then I'll just do like an Excel spreadsheet, I guess, if everybody wants that.
Sorry, Suzanne, what is that? Is that numerology of the name, or what is that?
I think he was just talking about like what name you're given has some significance to why you're here. So is that right, Gabrielle? I just kind of summed it up really succinctly, but then Kayla had the idea, like, why don't we all give the meaning of our first name, middle name, and last name, and see like how this group, if it makes any sense in this group, and how we're all together, and maybe we all have it'll give us more insight to our role, kind of like the human design does.
And he said, don't just go with the first definition you get. He said, do research, really, you would look up Katrina, and they'll be what it means, but then he said try to dig further, try to really find out the origin of that, because essentially your name is carrying the lineage of why you're here. And then she's saying let's do it for our first, middle, and last. So he talked a lot about the last name being your heritage. So he brought up a lot of African American people in the United North America have son after their name, like John's son, or I don't know, Smith's son, or I don't know. And what that meant was that they they were slaves that were named after their slave owner, and son was like a derogatory name to say you're owned by this person. So it's like trying to understand what the lineage of your last name is. But it was a really interesting episode. I know we shared it. Oh, we shared it somewhere.
No, you shared it. You did, because that's how I got it. I
Oh.
think you linked it.
Is it in the chat?
Yeah, it's in the eternal chat. Good luck finding it. But it's but if you go on YouTube, you can go to Matthias. What's his last name again? I can't remember. Stefano.
I'll
Yeah.
try to find it, Kat.
Okay.
He does
Thank you.
every day, and it's a lot. So I'll try to go back.
Okay.
But it's really, really interesting to understand, because it's like the vibration that you're here to carry out. And like he even talked about if you altered your name, what that means. And yeah, it's really interesting. So I'll find it.
Yeah, it's really
Okay,
it was
you.
fascinating. And
I'll put it in I'll refresh it to the front.
Thank you. I'm just going to add something quirky as well, guys, just because we were talking about, get-togethers and the plant medicine and doing stuff together and all this. And then you've just mentioned African tribes. In my meditation this morning, I saw like us as a group of African women. So weird. Like from back, many, many, years ago. And I just, I don't know. I don't know if it's a past life thing or something, but I just feel that connection, and it was like proper tribal, even before when you said, G, that you feel like we're going to be together until we part. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter because we just continue on.
You know what's interesting is I've always thought that I had African American in me, so much so that I got a DNA test and was shocked that it wasn't in there.
Oh, really?
Really?
It was probably just a past life.
Yeah, I identify so much with that culture. And even, this is going to sound weird, but even when I dreamed of having children, they were Black, they weren't white. And my partner's not Black, but I felt like that those are my kids for some reason. So I hear you and I feel that. Yes, I know. So strange. Well, you guys, thank you so much. I love you.